my team. I was gonna do a live the day of the Air and Water show, but there was just too much going on that day. I want to talk about developing a software app-based platform for the homeless where all of the beds are Rolodexed in a way that's similar to Airbnb. I think that offering reservation-style beds will give people a much better chance at success than what we're currently doing. So the first step, obviously, and I've discussed this a lot in a lot of my lives and other broadcasts, the first step of this is obviously intake, and that should occur at any area emergency room. As soon as a person finds themselves in a position of homelessness for whatever reason, they lost their job, they have experienced domestic violence, they have an addiction problem, whatever it is, they go to the ER and they have an assessment. The assessments should be cataloged and available for use in the Rolodexing system that's going to operate similar to Airbnb. So based on the results of that, and no one assessment is like universal or lifelong. An assessment should be updated as to avoid trapping a person into an identity that is no longer their identity. For instance, if a person was, allegedly a drug user in 2022, but they haven't touched anything, since that time, they need to be able to update that Rolodex in a way that is, reliable, honest, and kind of, current. And then after they have that intake, the people are divided by their need. So if someone needs intervention for substance abuse, or housing that is acceptable for someone who's using drugs, then that's taken into consideration. If someone needs assisted living, if they're elderly, if they're disabled, that is also taken into consideration, and they are directed towards that part of the Rolodex or CRM. Again, I compare it to Airbnb because I feel like we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We separate these beds based on what they can offer. All of these categories have to be logged. It's so simple. Like, I can't believe that this hasn't been done yet. And I've said this a lot. It almost feels like they're doing it on purpose. Like, they have the answers that they need to resolve these issues, but they don't want to, for whatever reason, allow them to be resolved. Now, if there's a person like myself, for instance, who does not require any sort of intervention of any sorts, I'm completely independent. I have education. I have 4 children who I've raised their entire lives. Clearly, I can take care of myself.